So let's talk about something that has completely changed right under our noses, and that's how we search for stuff online. We're going to break down the incredible AI that's behind this quiet but massive revolution happening in your search bar every single day. I mean, have you ever stopped to think about it? You type in a question, something simple like, how tall is the Eiffel Tower? And bam, you get the answer. Not a list of websites to go dig through, a direct answer. It honestly feels like magic, right? But it's not. It's actually this really fascinating dance between two super powerful AI technologies. Think back to how it used to be. For years, search was this pretty simple deal, right? You'd ask a question, and what you got back was that famous list of 10 blue links. It was basically on you to do the hard work. Click, read, figure it out. But now you get the information itself, a direct answer, a summary, a neat little panel with all the facts. This is a monumental shift. We've gone from finding documents to just getting answers. But here's the crazy part. This idea, it isn't new at all, not even close. This is actually the finish line for a race that information scientists started over 60 years ago. The dream for decades has always been to cut out the middleman and get straight to the knowledge. Yeah, check this out. All the way back in 1961, B. Vickery basically said the whole point is to get documents containing information. The goal was always clear. It was never about the file. It was about what was in the file. The ambition was there, but man, the technology just wasn't. So the first step to bridge that gap was to build a kind of structured, factual brain for the internet. And that brings us to the very first piece of our puzzle. We're talking about the organized, logical, just the facts part of the AI's mind. This is what we call the structured brain, and it's built on a technology called a knowledge graph. So what is a knowledge graph? Okay, think of it like a giant, interconnected web of facts. It's not just a big list of data points. The crucial thing is that it understands the relationships between them. It's way less like a spreadsheet and way more like a massive living mind map of, well, everything. And you've totally seen this in action, probably without even realizing it. You know that neat little box of facts that pops up on the side when you search for a celebrity or a city? Yep, that's the knowledge graph. It's the brain that knows Paris is the capital of France, and it also knows the Eiffel Tower is in Paris. That structured understanding is exactly why we get facts now, not just links. Okay, but having a brain full of facts is one thing. That doesn't get you conversation or summaries or natural-sounding answers. For that, search needed a totally different kind of intelligence. It needed a creative brain to weave all that information together in a human way. And this, of course, is where the large language model, or LLM, comes in. You've heard about these everywhere, right? These are the AIs that have been trained on just an unbelievable amount of text from the internet. Their whole job is to get so good at understanding the patterns of human language that they can start generating new, coherent text all by themselves. So how do they pull this off? Well, at their core, LLMs are just incredible at spotting the relationships between words. So if you have a long sentence like, the tiger drank from the river because it was thirsty, the model figures out that it refers to the tiger. It's this deep understanding of context that lets it generate text that actually flows and makes sense. All right, let's recap. We've got the structured, factual brain, that's our knowledge graph, and we've got the fluent, creative brain, that's the LLM. Now, the real magic, the thing that makes modern search work, happens when you put these two together. And that process has a name. It's called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or for short, RAG. So here's how RAG works, and it's actually pretty brilliant. First, when you ask a question, the system does a quick, fresh search on the web to find the most relevant, up-to-date documents. Then, it takes that information, hands it over to the LLM, and basically says, okay, create an answer for the user, but you can only use what I just gave you. And this is so powerful. Why? Because it solves one of the biggest headaches with LLMs, the fact that their knowledge is basically frozen in time, stuck on the date their training ended. RAG acts like this perfect bridge, connecting the LLM's incredible language skills with the live, constantly changing internet. It's how you get answers that are fresh and relevant, not from 2 years ago. So this combination, this structured brain and this creative brain working together, it's building a totally new information landscape for all of us. And just like any huge change, it brings some amazing new conveniences, but also some pretty big trade-offs that we need to talk about. And here's the absolute core of the challenge with this new world. When an AI just sucks up information from a bunch of different places and gives you one perfect, seamless answer, that direct line back to where the information came from, it can get really blurry. Or as one paper put it, the link between content and sources is broken. And that leads to a whole set of trade-offs. I mean, the pro is obvious, right? It's super fast, it's convenient. But the cons, well, we risk losing the original context of the information. And research shows that if the search results are a bit messy or conflicting, LLMs can get confused and mash things together into something that's just plain wrong. And maybe most importantly, the original source, the person or organization that did the work, gets kind of lost, hidden behind that AI summary. Naturally, this whole new landscape is forcing anyone who creates content online to completely change their game. The new strategy is called Semantic SEO. And this isn't about old-school tricks to rank higher. It's about structuring your information so clearly and logically that these AI systems, both the knowledge graphs and the LLMs, can easily understand it and, more importantly, trust it. It's almost like the AI has become the new primary audience. Yeah, the whole goal has shifted. It's not just how do I get to #1 on Google anymore. The question now is, how do I make my information so solid, so clear, and so trustworthy that the AI chooses my content to build its answers from? The new game is to literally become a foundational, trusted source for the internet's brain. And all of this brings us to a final, maybe more philosophical point. Because beyond all the tech talk, this shift is fundamentally changing our relationship with knowledge itself, how we learn things about the world around us. Back in 1983, a scholar named Patrick Wilson wrote something really profound. He said, "All I know of the world beyond my own personal experience is what others have told me." And for pretty much all of human history, those others were people, right? Authors, journalists, teachers. We built entire systems of trust and authority around them. But today, an AI is more and more becoming that other. It's the one reading everything, synthesizing it, and telling it to us. And that leaves us with a really big, really important question to think about. As we move away from a world of clear, distinct sources and into a world of perfectly synthesized answers, who or what is becoming the author of our knowledge?